Whoa, oh, gee whiz there. Let me just put you down right there. I was actually just reading a book by H.G. Wells called The Time Machine, where we see our protagonist jumped into a special chair with blinking lights. He spins a few dials and then he's catapulted tens of thousands of years into the future, where England has long disappeared and is now inhabited by strange creatures called Elox and Merloid. This may have been great science fiction back in the day, but some physicists have always scoffed the idea of time travel, considering it the realm of cranks and mystics. But they may have good reason. One of the many theories of time travel states that the universe will protect itself from creating any paradoxes by simply not allowing time machines to be made. All time machines are likely to self-destruct the moment they are activated. See, Stephen Hawking said, "There ought to be a law banning time travel from the laws of physics." In the following years, Stephen Hawking became frustrated that he could not find a physical law that he could prevent time travel. Unable to prove his impossibility, Hawking changed his mind, making headlines when he said, "Time travel may be possible, but it is not practical." We then decided to send one of our assistants down to the physics labs downtown and ask some of the top physicists there about time travel.
Alright, ready? Why is the possibility of time travel even considered?
It really comes down to the general theory of relativity devised by Albert Einstein in 1905. Well, it's the best theory we have so far on the nature of space and time, and it was Einstein himself who first formulated the mathematical equations that related both time and space in the form of entity called space-time. Those equations and the theory itself do not prohibit the idea of time travel, although there have been many attempts since Einstein to prove that travelling back in time is impossible. Oh, hello. See, popular culture has had major influences on how we as a society perceive time travel. Popular movies and TV shows such as Quantum Leap, 12 Monkeys, Calvin and Hobbes, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Back to the Future are just some of the many examples of popular films that give us a glimpse of what time travel would actually be like. Although there is one common connection that these movies all share: paradoxes.
Why are we asking this now?
Oh, well, good question. Actually, 2 Russian mathematicians have suggested that the giant atom smasher being built at the European Centre for Nuclear Research, or CERN, near Geneva, could create the conditions where it might be possible to travel backwards or forwards in time. In essence, Irina and Igor Volvovich believe that the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, which is due to be switched on this year for the first time, might actually create tiny wormholes in space, which could allow some form of limited time travel. If this is true, this would mark the first time in human history that a time machine has been created. If travelling back in time is possible at all, it should in theory be only possible to travel back to the point when the first time machine was created, and also this would mean that time travellers from the future would be able to visit us. As an article in this week's New Science suggests, this year, 2016, could become year 0 for time travel. Interesting. Oh, hey, sorry. You know, I was just reading the definition of paradox, and it was a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement or proposition which when investigated may prove to be well-founded or true. And this actually reminds me... Oh, thank you, Shane. Yes, the paper's there. It actually reminds me of one of the most famous paradoxes, the grandfather paradox, where if you were to go back in time and kill your grandfather, you wouldn't be alive to go back and kill your grandfather. According to the theoretical physics, this situation could play out as follows. Wonderful coffee sharing. You pop back in time and walk up to your grandfather and point a revolver at his head. You pull the trigger and the gun fails to fire. Click, click, click. The bullets in the chamber have dents in the firing caps. You point the gun elsewhere and pull the trigger. Bang! Point at your grandfather. Click, click, click. So you try another method to kill him, but that only leads to scars that in later life he attributed from the world's worst mugger. You can only do many things as long as they are not fatal, until you are chased off by the policeman. Next we see the predestination paradox, which occurs when the actions of a person travelling back in time ultimately causes the event in which he is trying to prevent to occur. He then becomes trapped in a temporal causality loop in which event 1 in the past influences event 2, which then causes event 1 to occur with the circular loop of events, thus ensuring that history is not altered by the time traveller's journey into the past. In other words, we could say that time is just a giant loop, and our actions do not influence what we're about to do. So thus, I must complete the loop. Whoa! Oh, gee whiz there. Let me just put you down right there.